What is Presentation Zen? Follow these objectives and you're going to find out. The Presentation Zen approach. Can you name the principles of Presentation Zen? Take a minute to do this exercise to assess your own views on presentations. Have fun! What is Presentation Zen? Follow these objectives and you're going to find out. Here's a quick test or quiz on how to know whether or not you've learned how to prepare your presentation. Now it's time to design your presentation. These are the components you'll need. By the adult learner. Next, we're going to talk about my researched article titled Learning with Animation and Illusions of Understanding. Illusions of Understanding by Paik and Schraw. This article discusses that information that is learned with animation gives the illusion, or it is perceived by the learner, that is easier to understand when there's animation. Learning with animation also leaves the user with an optimistic meta-comprehension. It requires less cognitive effort to learn. And they also covered that there was a negative effect of representational animation, which is, for example, if this movie reel is just sitting there, that represents something. However, if it's using directive animation, perhaps this movie reel is spinning and it directs the learner's attention to the movie reel because it's spinning. They discovered there was a positive effect of directive animation. This article also discusses how high proficiency learners tend to be pessimistic in their metacomprehension or pessimistic about their ability to learn, and low proficiency learners tend to be optimistic in their metacomprehension. With animation, low proficiency learners are optimistic in their understanding of their ability to learn. And these are all consistent with expertise reversal effect theory. And that article was by Paik and Schraw. My next article in my research about this topic is to PowerPoint or not to PowerPoint. That is the question. Nevick describes the things to avoid in PowerPoint presentations. The first point is to exclude extraneous words, meaningless graphics, or busy backgrounds. Now, I picked this background because it did have the film reel, which was multimedia when I was selecting it. Then I found it quite ironic that my slide is telling me not to do exactly what I did, which is choose a meaningless graphic or busy background. This article also says not to use PowerPoint slides as your lecture notes, which is also what I'm doing right now. And she discusses how it's the most common mistake, or I should say Nemec discusses that it's the most common mistake in PowerPoint slides, and goes further to state that redundancy results in cognitive overload for the learner. So by me putting up this slide with the words, and I'm discussing in my lecture the same words that are on the screen, that is redundancy, and that redundancy results in cognitive overload for the learner. Duarte also emphasizes that the amount of time it takes to prepare a PowerPoint presentation for a 1 hour talk with about 30 slides takes about 36 to 90 hours. Now, I started this presentation at 7 a.m. this morning. It is now 5:09, so I'm working on my 10th hour of working on this project. I would agree wholeheartedly with Duarte that it takes at least 1 hour per slide minimum, and I didn't even do a good job with these slides according to Nemec because I'm using them as my lecture notes. Let's see what else this article has to offer us when it comes to multimedia presentations. Let's look at these other resources. Let's take a look at Presentation Zen, which I have opened up over here for us to look at. Actually, this is Duarte. Her website is duarte.com, and this is an excellent resource for everyone in class, including myself, to get to know better, to get better at creating effective PowerPoint presentations. When they go beyond words and pictures, they become a transformative experience. And this website helps you reinvent presentations to manifest your ideas and move your audience in new ways. So I'm looking forward to learning more. So for my next PowerPoint presentation, I could do a better job. Let's also take a look here at the Presentation Zen website, which is also a resource identified in the To PowerPoint or Not PowerPoint article. This is an excellent resource as far as learning how to create more effective PowerPoint presentations and how to not bore an audience. We've all been in PowerPoint presentations where the slides are redundant, as I presented today, which can be very boring. And this one is about to end, take you to the final page, which is my reference section. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you learned something about multimedia presentation and pedagogy, adult learning theory in multimedia platforms. Thanks so much and have a great day. An additional resource is presentationzen.com.
That I never stopped playing, and I rarely. Our ancestors walked at least 10 to 12 miles a day in search of food. Now, most of us sit to do everything, and sitting is slow death.